Hi guys, welcome back to another Creating the Crafty Life's Creative Weekly Wisdom. This week we're going to revisit an oldie but a goodie technique that I just fell in love with, and this is going to be the ink smooshing. And so I was kind of playing around, and this is similar to what we're going to create today. Obviously, no two ink smooshing backgrounds are going to be the same, but I just thought this was so dang pretty, and it's just kind of got a like a whimsical, but I don't know, I just really like it. So let's get into it. So the first thing that we're gonna do now, I'm gonna use several distress inks, and then I just grabbed one of my re-inkers because I wanted to deepen the color a little bit, and I'll show you how I did that. We're gonna use, let me just, sorry, got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to use this stamp set, and this is a close to my heart one, and this is the Ornate Blossoms, and we're going to use this little what is it, mandala, I think, mandala. I think the mandala is the thing that you slice the veggies on. Anyway, we're going to use that stamp, and I've already got it loaded in my MISTI, and I wanted to do that because we're going to be stamping on watercolor paper, and this is just some watercolor paper that I had in my stash, but we're going to be stamping on some watercolor paper, so we want to make sure that we get a good impression. So first things first is let's go ahead and treat it with our anti-static tool, just to make sure we don't have any stray embossing powder. I don't know with this technique if it would matter so much because it's kind of a cool, just organic technique. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to get our Versamark pad, and we're going to stamp it . And I'm going to stamp it twice just to make sure that it stamps real good. Okay, so there's that. And that's all I should need my MISTI for. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my coffee filters and my embossing powder. It's just white embossing powder. Touched right there. Let's stick in a little bit. Gosh, that's so pretty. I love this stamp. It's got a lot of beautiful detail in it. All right, let's pour that back and set that off to the side. Now you can do this in many different colors, but you want to make sure that they're complementary. So let's go ahead and heat set this. Okay, so now it's all heat set. Let's give it a second to cool. Okay, now next thing is I like to just kind of prep my pads, and we're going to smoosh the pad onto our nonstick craft surface. You could do this on your craft sheet. Excuse me, you could do this on your like a piece of acetate, anything like that. Okay. Okay. All right, now we're just going to give it a little spritz. Okay, and then I like to go lightest to darkest. And you just, I'm using an acrylic block, so all you do is you kind of smoosh it in there, and then you smoosh it on to your paper, and you just kind of put it in, and you just move it around a little bit. And you're just, actually it probably needs a little more water to move it around. And I'm sorry, the three, this is Spun Sugar, Picked Raspberry, and Wilted Violet are the colors that I'm using, along with a little bit of worn lipstick. I can't remember if I said those colors. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead, and I'm just, you can, oh, looks like I'm ready for my darker color. And it doesn't look like much yet, but you just, Lord, there was a little bit of suction on there, so you want to be careful when you're doing that. Okay, I'm going to actually wipe off my block and go back in, try and go back in there without that color. Go back in. We're going to water down the color just a little bit, but we're going to smoosh it across the page and just kind of swipe, give it a little mix. Okay, then we're going to go into the Wilted Violet, and we'll give that a good smoosh like that. Give another little spritz, water it down just a little bit because I want some variation in it. There we go. Just take it like that and just go boop like that, and it'll give it some really good texture. There we go. Let's go back into our Spun Sugar, and you just kind of play with it and go back and forth with it. Now, I think my Spun Sugar, when I did my other example, I'm going to clean this off, needed a little bit of deepening, so what I did was I just took a tiny little drop of the worn lipstick, and this is the oxide ink, and I gave it a really good spritz like that. I really watered it down, and then I kind of went in there, and what I did is I tested it on a paper towel first to see the opacity of it, because remember, oxide inks are opaque, and so I didn't want to overpower what I was doing here. So that's actually good. I feel good about that, and you can just kind of play around with it, but then I just kind of, again, smushed it on. Just to fill in a little bit. Okay. Just pull a little bit of that color up there. And I want to deepen right along that edge just a little bit, because I felt like I was losing some of the definition of the stamp. Okay. I'm actually going to take some of this and I'm going to stamp it down into the Wilted Violet, and then I'm just going to pick it up just a little bit because I want to give it just, I don't want it to be muddy, but I want it to give it just a little bit more, there's the train, just a little bit more. Okay. Alright, let's clean this off. Now I can heat set this, but I want to be careful because I don't really want to remelt my embossing powder. So I'll dry it just a little bit, and as I'm drying it, I can come in and maybe pick up a couple of spots that are a little more wet than others. Alright. A little hint, heat the back to help it stay a little bit more flat. Okay. All right, there we go. So here are my 2 samples. And you can see I use the same supplies, but they're going to come out a little bit different every time. I just love this technique. And these are great backgrounds, and I just need to put a simple sentiment on there, maybe a tiny little bit of twine, and these would be really good as card backgrounds. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.